My name is Alistair Lee, and in this video, I'm going to walk through the AI blog generator in Adobe Connect. You can now generate blogs for your previous events, and to access this, you may see an option right from your Adobe Connect homepage to generate blogs from past events, but you can also go to the Events tab in Adobe Connect, and over here I can see an option to access my AI-generated blogs. Now this is divided into three different sections. The first section shows me any of the blogs I've already generated. The next section shows me any previous events, and these are all of the events that I can use to generate a brand new blog, and you'll actually see a button here beside each one of these events to generate a blog. And then finally, we've got an organization settings, which is one of the features that makes this so interesting. Instead of just sending a summary of the transcript, or creating a summary of the transcript, what we're doing here is taking into account things like your brand, your product and your product's value proposition, even setting up separate personas. And so I can actually set up one or more brands associated with this account. You can see here I've set something up for Adobe where I've defined the brand value, the brand voice. I can set up multiple products that can be associated with that brand. Here, I've set something up for Adobe Connect. I've added a Zen statement and a value proposition. I can also set up personas. And so this will be who the blog is targeted for. Is this targeted at developers? Is it targeted at marketers, at trainers? So we can set up personas for the blog as well. Below all of this, I can see some of the usage statistics. How many blogs have we generated using this so far? So let's go to past events. We'll look at creating a brand new blog post. And to do that, I just click on the Generate Blog button next to the previous event. And here's where I'm able to incorporate some of that information that we just defined, like the brand. Again, I don't have to select a brand here. If I don't want, I can choose not applicable, but I can also select a specific brand, which again is defined by that value and voice that were set up earlier. I can do the same thing with the product and choose from whatever products I've already defined. And of course, by defining them at the account level, it makes it easy to reuse them for all of the different blogs that we're recreating. I don't have to set this up for each blog post. I can set up the persona here that we want to use. I've also got some additional options as I'm creating the blog that weren't previously set up because these will be specific to your individual posts. Things like the context of the webinar or the blog that we're generating. Was this a product feature showcase? Was it a case study? And so we can take that into account as we're taking that transcript and turning it into a blog post. The intent of the generated blog, is that for lead generation? Is it for knowledge sharing? Again, this will affect the style of the output that gets created. And if you have a call to action that you'd like to include as part of that blog post, you can include that right here in the parameters that we'll use to create that blog post. We've got some additional parameters here around the tone of the blog post as well as the length of the blog post. We've got some defaults: professional, conversational, inspirational, educational, and persuasive. And then for length, we can specify short, medium, or long. And you can see a reading time associated with each one of these. Finally, we've got a section on search engine optimization, or SEO. And this gives us the ability to define some keywords that we'd like to ensure are included in our blog post for search engine optimization, or potentially keywords that you'd like to avoid. If there's something that you're worried might show up in the blog post based on your webinar and you want to avoid those, then you can specify those keywords here, either keywords to include or to avoid in the SEO section. Once you've set up all of this, you can hit Generate Blog, and that will take a few minutes. You can see here a message saying this will take up to 10 minutes. So let's go and take a look at one that we've already created. You can see here I've got a couple options that I've already created. And you'll also notice there are variants of each one of these. So in addition to creating the blog post, we can set up different variations. We can do some edits and look at different options that we can use. I'm going to click on the View Blog button to open this up. And you'll notice right away we've got a blog post with some imagery, with some text that matches the content of the original webinar that we introduced. Now, the blog post that got generated automatically didn't incorporate these images. These actually came from the presentation that I was using in my webinar. That's one of the things that I love about this new feature is it's got the ability to incorporate some of the sample images that come with the AI blog generator, but more importantly, the event images that you used during your event. And a lot of these images come from the slides I had in my PowerPoint deck. Others come from other parts of the layouts that I'd set up for this particular event. And so you'll notice, in fact, the title for my blog post here comes directly from one of those slides. And as we move down, I can see some of those other slides that I'm able to incorporate really easily directly into the blog post. I just select one of the options and click Insert Image if I'd like to incorporate it into the blog post itself. If we do want to create multiple variations, we can use different parameters. I can change the parameters that were used to create this blog post to create a completely different variation, but I can also edit the blog post that was created here. As I highlight any block of text, I've got the option to edit that manually by clicking this pencil icon. I can also copy it to my clipboard or delete it, and I can have AI shorten this for me as well, so I'm not having to edit it manually. Once I'm done and happy with the blog post, I'm able to download it to my local system. This gives me the option to download it with all of the images that were inserted, or if I want all of the event images that we were seeing earlier here, I've got another option to download the blog text with all of the event images. Using this download, it will keep the formatting, and I can then upload it to whatever blog platform I am using. That's a quick look at creating AI-generated blogs with Adobe Connect. Thanks for your time.